Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be able to check in with you again, tell you what's happening in the Karma world, and particularly to celebrate two very auspicious numbers, 28 and 100. Why, you may ask? Well, 28. First of all, a couple of days ago was the 28th birthday of the Karma Group. It sounds quite incredible to say that. In some respects, we've accomplished so much over the years, and in some respects, it's gone by in 2 seconds. I still feel about 40 years old, so I don't quite understand how I could have steered the company for 28 years. But it was 28 years ago on Friday that we opened up our first resort on the beaches of Goa. It was an extremely entrepreneurial operation, vastly underfunded. I sold my possessions in my flat in London to start it off. And I'm sure you know the story, so I won't bore you again about how we've grown over the 3 years from those 28 years, from those very humble beginnings to being the company that we are today. I was also reminded that we share that anniversary with the patron saint of Goa, St. Francis Xavier. It was a total coincidence that we opened up on the same day that his feast day is celebrated, but it's certainly been tremendously auspicious for us over the years. I'm very honoured and proud that we share the same birthday or the celebration day. So hopefully St. Francis has been helping us along the way. So thank you very much. It's also been a journey which has been inspirational, and it's been incredibly motivational. I've been humbled over the years by the support of members of staff and management, colleagues that I've worked with all over the world, and most importantly of our members, of our clients, who have been tremendously loyal, who have liked the products that we've been creating, who have grown with us over the years. And many members have been with us for 20 years, 25 years, or a very long period of time. And I hope we've given back some very enjoyable holidays and some experiences. But I truly say we would not be here today were it not for the tremendous members of staff and the tremendous loyalty and support of all of our members. So thank you as I celebrate 28 years and look forward to the next 28 years, I guess. I think we'll have to have a big bash for the 30th, which will coincide from COVID being a distant memory. So look forward to some serious parties you'll be invited to in a couple of years when we hit that major milestone of 30. Why the other number 100, may you say? Well, this is the 100th edition of Karma Community. Again, it's incredible to think that we really ramped this up to a weekly basis at the beginning of COVID. None of us could have foreseen how long COVID would have carried on and how many lockdowns there have been and how many problems there had been. But I do think it's been a very valuable tool to communicate with you, with members and with clients. It works extremely well both ways. I'm very pleased to see the positivity that we've had. In the early days of COVID, I did make the decision that we needed to ramp up communication and to make sure that we had open channels, and so that we could all understand what was going on with our resorts, with our products, with our company, and with your holidays. And I really do think it's been a good exercise, and it will continue. I think it's one of those things that we and many companies have found, that you were forced to create products or different ways of doing things during the COVID times, and they've proven to be very valid. And so we'll continue to have these weekly community, Karma Community magazines, and I'll continue to have these chats. I'm going to do much more one-on-one or live chats going forward. I'm very keen to host a series of dinner parties or cocktail parties or functions in all the major cities around the world where we have members, whether it be in London or it be in Mumbai or it be in Sydney or wherever it need be. Very keen to meet. I enjoy meeting our members very much, actually at resorts, and so I think we can take that into the cities and have some very useful dialogue and hopefully some good time. I also wanted to thank everyone for the support over Karma Beach burning down in Bali. As you know, it was a horrible situation. It was caused, we believe, and the police report has now seemed to back it up, by an electrical fault, a wiring fault. It happened after the club was shut, and so thank God there was no injuries or anyone was hurt, but it was burnt down. We're now commencing plans to rebuild, of course. It was an amazing operation for us, and we intend to build it better than ever, I think. We'll do a temporary structure in the short term, and so we'll be able to trade during the busy Christmas and New Year period and going into the new year. And then we'll put some thoughts together of how we're going to make a Phoenix Beach Club emerging from the ashes. So it was very sad, but I guess these things happen and we have to be strong and go forward from them. Talking about Bali as well, it's very disappointing that there's still a quarantine there now of 10 days as a reaction to the new variants which are out there. We do believe this will get better, and we're very hopeful that Bali will open up to international tourism quite soon. So I guess watch this space, and our resorts are all ready to go, our staff are ready to go, and as soon as we can, that'll be fully open, as is the same with Thailand and Vietnam. And we're probably expecting the first quarter of next year to be when these places really do begin to open up and to hum again. On the other hand, over in India, it's very busy. I mean, as you know, we've acquired quite a few new resorts. They're all very busy. They're full. People are traveling. Domestic tourism, again, I would stress. It is possible for international tourism, but at the moment it's primarily domestic tourism. But it's very good to see some sort of normality coming back, and our members and clients having a great time and enjoying themselves in India at the moment. And of course, over here in Europe, with Salford Hall coming into the Christmas season, it's beginning to get very busy, as is Germany. And I'm very pleased to hear that the first snow is arriving next week. So I shall go down and hopefully experience some snow down there. Elsewhere in the world, we are close to a number of new acquisitions. I know we've been teasing you a bit with Scotland. I've tried over the last 18 months to acquire a resort in Scotland. I think there's been about 4 or 5 that we've been very, very close to, but for whatever reason they fell apart. But we do have a new one. We have one which the ink is not quite dry, and so you know me, I don't like to tempt fate by saying too much until it's a total done deal, but I'd say it's 99.5% done. And I think you're going to love it. It is on a lake, Loch in Scotland. It looks a bit like a setting for a Scooby-Doo mystery, and I love Scooby-Doo. I think a lot of my resorts, I think, what would a Scooby-Doo mystery be doing in this sort of place? So it does look like Scooby-Doo and the monster of the Loch. I can't tell you which one. I go up next week, and we hopefully close on that one. And that's an existing operation, and so we'll just be getting the keys, so to speak. It'll require some renovation and some work and a bit of karma magic, but it will be trading literally straight away as of 1st of January. So I think you'll enjoy that. We are moving ahead with the renovation at Carcassonne, the chateau. We're doing all the furniture actually in Indonesia and then putting it in boxes and crating it back as it works out quicker and very high quality, to be honest. And so all the furniture is being done at the moment. Our plans are to open up, again, I won't tempt fate, but June the 1st is our hopeful date, but certainly by the summer. And it'll be the first floor of the chateau, which is 8 apartments, the ground floor, which is the restaurant and the library and the salon and the lounges. And in the gardens, we'll have these 10 eco tents. And so it'll be approximately 20 units when we open up. And then over the next couple of years, we'll address the other floors and the other buildings in the ground. So I'm hopeful that'll be ready for this summer, and you'll probably be able to make bookings soon if you want to come there. And similarly with Garcin, our resort in Spain, we're still looking at the timelines. We'll commence construction in the new year, and whether we can get that open for the summer or not, I don't know yet, but we'll keep you abreast of that situation. And then slightly further afield, I have 2 very exciting operations, which, again, I won't tempt fate by talking too much about now. But one is in Egypt, in an amazing potential experience, and one is in Dubai. So we are looking at some very exciting new locations to provide you with some new resorts as we come into the new year. One other development is our real estate business, Karma Estates. We are re-energizing. We have 2 sites where we're developing real estate developments. One is in Bali and one is in Goa, both in very popular destinations and locations. And so again, we'll release more details of that again over the coming weeks. So we've certainly been busy as we come into the Christmas season. And I think one of the things that I'm most excited about, both business-wise and also personally-wise, is Australia beginning to open up. Certainly New South Wales and Victoria. Tomorrow, my daughter, from a personal point of view, is flying over, which I haven't seen her for almost 2 years. So that'll be exciting. And I know for many of you, the fact that you can now travel from those states is opening up opportunity. West Australia, unfortunately, still remains locked down, but at least things are moving forward. At least the vaccinations are rolling out, and at least people are bidding against the confidence to open up borders and to travel. We have new variants, of course. It's difficult to know whether some of the reactions to the variants are knee-jerk reactions or whether they are valid. I am very optimistic. As you know, I'm a glass half full person, and I don't think Omicron is going to slow down the movement forward. And I think that we will be able to deal with it. And the mass vaccination is providing the solution in most places around the world. Okay, so let's sign off, and obviously got to have a birthday toast. The wine today is a bit different, actually. It's actually not a bottle, it's a small sort of sample bottle. And the reason is that the wine club in London, 67 Pall Mall, that I'm a very small owner of, I'm a member of and a frequent user, and I have a minority interest, but they had a genius idea. I wish I'd had this idea. When I see someone else's marketing idea, I hardly like to pat them on the back and get a bit annoyed I didn't think of it, but fantastic. They created an advent calendar, which is a big box, and rather than have chocolates behind each day, there are samples of wine, and in each sample of wine there's a QR code on the front, so you've got no idea what's in it. They don't do anything until the day you're supposed to drink it, so you can't cheat. And then you're supposed to uncork it, put it in your, I just did it, let it breathe, put it in the glass, and you give it a swill, and you try and decide what it is. And then when you sort of made your decision, you take your phone, you go onto the QR code, and there is a 4-minute video wine tasting by a wine expert who tells you what it is and why it's good, etc. So this one today is a Puy Fusé, which comes from the south of Burgundy. It's a Chardonnay, obviously, young, fresh, delicious. A good wine, I think, to toast a 28th birthday and look forward to the next 28. So happy birthday to all of us. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you very much for the feedback. And thank you very much for the loyalty. We will toast a few glasses in person over the next few months. Cheers. And I half guessed it right, but not totally, to be honest.